Hi everyone, welcome to Training with Casey, where we explore animal training and living our best lives with animals. I'm Joseph Laughlin, producer of this podcast, and now here's your host, Casey Cover. Let's get started. Good evening everyone, and welcome to Training with Casey. It's Joseph Laughlin, the producer.
And Casey, the host. How are you, Joseph?
Good. How are you doing this evening, Casey?
Good. Great to be here together. What's going on in your life?
Oh, not much. I'm just trying to potty train my dog, and maybe you can help me with this since you have some experience in this field too.
I need you to recognize that we didn't usually potty train the zoo animals, okay? But I actually do have experience with that. And what's the issue?
He's always peeing inside.
And when you say always, how long has this been going on?
Since we've had him. He always pees upstairs, downstairs on the tile. So we're basically having to clean constantly the carpets, the tile.
Oh, that's tough on everybody.
And not only is he peeing, but he's doing number 2.
Okay. Do you have any idea why he doesn't choose to go outside?
I'm not sure. I know we have bells that are on the door handle, so he can use his paw and hit the bells to communicate with us that he wants to go outside.
And has he actually learned to do it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's a suggestion, but not a trained behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Any chance that he would encounter coyotes or owls outside?
Definitely coyotes at night.
Yeah, so he may smell the coyotes, may be afraid, which would be a same thing for him to be. So there are a lot of aspects. This is a very simple, common problem, but there are a lot of things to take into account. So what I suggest we do is let's look at some of the medical considerations, some of the behavioral considerations, and then the actual training.
I definitely like to look over those things.
Okay. How old is he?
He is about 8 or 9.
Okay. And so he's going to need to get outside possibly very frequently at his age, like maybe even once an hour or more often. Is that logistically a problem? Like, is there somebody at home that could take him out, or do you guys have to be at work, or what's the...
Yeah, there's someone at home that could let him out in the backyard.
So that person maybe could set some kind of alarm or reminder could even be a kitchen cooking timer and just set it for every hour. And then literally take the dog outside whether he wants to go out or not. Now, there's a couple of things that I'll mention that we can do to support our dogs, no matter what. And these things are good for them. So there are 3 husbandry interventions. One is cranberries. You can get cranberry capsules. You can get cranberry powder. You can get actual cranberries and cook them and add them to the dog's food. And these can help with bladder infections and so on. Now, a lot of times we don't know that a person or an animal has a bladder infection, but if they have to hold their urine, it increases the odds that they will. And a lot of bladder infections are asymptomatic, except for frequency of urination. But not only can they be such a difficult problem when it comes to a dog peeing inside a house, with humans, they can actually cause mental episodes where the people are deranged. And then they get treatment for their urinary tract infection and they vastly improve. So it's a really important thing to address. So cranberries is one thing. Another thing is, I had three things for you on that. And son of a gun, I just lost one. Oh, okay. D-mannose. D-mannose is a sugar and it's given to people and to dogs. In fact, I noticed a bunch of products that combine the D-mannose and the cranberry. What happens with the D-mannose is it's a sugar and the bacteria in the bladder and the urinary tract are attracted to it. So as it goes through the system, all these bacteria go to the D-mannose and they're washed out in the urine. It can have a big effect. Now, there's another thing that they use for people, and I have not checked this for dogs yet, so you would need to check it specifically. Angelica archangelea. This is another herb, and it's given to people who are incontinent. And the fourth thing that I have for you is horsetail reed tea. And this is something that grows in America. There are two kinds that are sold as edible, and they're Equisetum hyemale and Equisetum arvensa. You can literally order them dried, sifted, ready to make tea from Amazon and other herb companies. All you do is put a teaspoon in a quart jar, cover it with water, put it in your microwave, bring it just to a boil or just below a boil, bring it out, let it cool, and then give your dog a little bit of that with his food. Test it to make sure he doesn't have any allergies to it, because you never know. Now, you might wonder what this does, because it's good for you too.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what it does. What does it do?
Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
So a place where you can get more detail on it is Christopher Exley, Exley, PhD from the UK. He's done a lot of research. Horsetail reed tea and other things that produce salicylic acid take aluminum out of the body. They think this might be good for helping to prevent dementia, because aluminum is a big part of dementia. And it's also good for relieving some of the clogging in the kidney. So I believe he says that the nephrils of the kidneys sometimes clog, and that aluminum is actually a significant issue in that. So in our house, my mom lives with us. She's 86. That's a very common problem with older people. So we got this stuff and we figured, heck, we could all make sure that we didn't have extra aluminum, right? Because aluminum's in your pans, in your silverware, in the aluminum foil that you use. It's in deodorant, baking powder.
I did not know all that.
Yeah.
Had aluminum.
Yeah. So
I knew like the pans and the utensils, but
you don't really think how much you've been exposed to over a lifetime, right? So when you drink this tea, the salicylic acid is able to penetrate every tissue in your body right through your bones. And it will wash the aluminum out of your body and wash it through your urine. So within a month of drinking this tea, probably about 4 ounces, 4 or 5 times a week, half a cup, 4 or 5 times a week, I noticed that when we came back from a trip, all of a sudden there were no pileups at the bathroom door. So everybody had become younger in their ability to not have to rush to the bathroom. So this would be
That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I can only hope that it's helping my brain, but I know that it's made life more comfortable. All right. So definitely get that on your radar screen for all of you and read after this guy, Christopher Exley, because this is important stuff. And it's so easy to grow. You could get a big bucket or one of those kids' pools, go on Etsy or Amazon or, a water store, get some seeds from this stuff and grow it in your backyard. And then cut it, dry it, make your tea, and it would be organic and all that stuff. Or you can just buy it from Amazon or one of the herb companies.
I was about to say Amazon like everyone does.
Yeah, yeah. So there's 4 things. So let's review 4 husbandry things that you can do. So they were cranberry, D. Manos, Angelica arcangela, and
Christopher.
Yeah, silicic acid, which you get from the horsetail reed tea. By the way, another really good source of it is bamboo shoots. Okay. Now, those are feeding husbandry kinds of things. But there's another thing. I think a lot of times little dogs are afraid of going outside, especially by themselves. And they may not be wrong, because if you watched videos of coyotes, they'll hop right over a fence and grab your dog.
I know. I've seen videos too. I'm like,
Yeah, and you live down in an area. So when I was going to school at UCSD, I used to walk a mile to school, and the coyotes would come out on this point of a hill and watch me walk by. 3 or 4 coyotes together.
And now with like more industrial places going in, coyotes are being forced out of their natural environments.
Yeah, and they're having to learn to live in close, connection with us, which means they're looking at our things as their things. They're coming in and going after our pets. They're not the only ones that will go after your animals. It could be hawks, eagles, and owls.
I did not know that.
Yeah, owls will drop down with their talons like so, and they've got 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back, and they're right on the hips of the animal. Not saying they would never grab them any other way, but it is classic for an owl to grab a cat or a dog by the hips. And so I had a cat and I had no idea what was wrong with it. And she got abscesses over her hips. And I came to find out that she had been attacked by an owl. That was absolutely typical.
Ouch.
Yeah. So you want to look for those things, because I didn't see an abscess. I just saw my cat get very quiet, but the vet knew to look. They looked right over the hips. All right. So what do you do about that? Well, you need to make it safe outside. So you probably need to go with the dog. You need to have the dog on a lead so you can whip him out of there if necessary, because these guys can be very fast. Did you ever see the movie The Proposal?
I have not.
Oh, I think you'd enjoy it. But anyway, they got to go out and rescue their poodle. And putting up a shade cloth over an area of the backyard will make it not so hot, protect the dog from sun, and also help protect him from an overhead attack. So we talked about frequency of getting the dog out. Dog needs to go out. Oh, did we talk about it now? Well, anyway.
No, I don't think we did, but we can talk about it.
I talked about how he might be frightened to go outside, and maybe everybody else in the house is frightened to take him outside. Let's say you've got a mom or a sister and maybe they don't feel comfortable worrying about fighting off other animals or something like that. But you can, make it safer for everybody and, give him some shelter when he goes outside. But there's also some definite training that needs to happen. And I think with a little dog that lives in a household with people that work, a really good thing is to set up both a latrine inside and a latrine outside. And when I say latrine, I mean a place for a dog to go pee and poop. So may I share with you some critical things that need to happen to make a latrine?
Okay.
Okay, it's a good thing you said something because you were shaking your head again and nobody's going to hear it. Okay, so for the outside latrine, have you seen those little fire hydrants that they have?
Yes, I have.
You could get anything. You could get a pedestal for a bird bath. You could get a fire hydrant. You could get a log. But what you can do is pick a place in your yard and dig out the grass, put down some garden lime. This will neutralize the urine as it goes through. Put some big pebbles, maybe with some small pebbles, or something like that. You could use deck tiles. You could use teak decking. You want to make a safe place that the dog can walk on, that he can go out and pee and poop on. It would be easy for you to clean and easy for you to hose. And you want to think about where that water is going to drain. So the reason I said to dig up the grass is because you're going to have to he's going to kill the grass anyway. And you're going to have to keep adding this lime to neutralize the urine. So lime's a base. The urine is an acid. What are you going to get when you put the two together? They're going to produce water and a salt. So that's going to kill your grass even more.
It's okay. I don't have any grass anyways.
Okay, there you go. So we'll talk about how to use that area next. But depending on the size of the dog, you want to have a big enough space that he can go out there, do his business in this area. And it would be good if he had shade and protection going out there, because if he has to get all wet in the rain, he's not going to want to use it. If he has to get too hot, he's not going to want to use it. You want to make it easy for him to do the right thing. What could you do in the house to make a latrine?
Boy, oh boy, I cannot wait for Casey to tell me more about what it takes to potty train my animals. Stick around for next week's episode to find out what else Casey offers and to find out more about latrine training. Hey fans, are you enjoying Training with Casey? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Casey Covert on YouTube. That is youtube.com/C/Casey Covert. Also, give the podcast a like, share, and comment.
Thanks for joining us. Come back for more news and views on animal training and living with animals. Stay at the top of the pack with Casey. This is Joseph Laughlin, producer of Training with Casey. See you next time.